Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at a pennant breakout we had in gold today. This was a super choppy day. Didn't get a lot of great opportunities, especially after the initial morning. Had a couple moves early in the morning, and then just really went into chop and no real good setups, no really good trades. And then finally, this was a very high probability setup that we finally got in gold. And this was a pennant breakout. This is the 5-minute chart. As you know, because of market volatility, we've been spending a little more time with time charts and a little less time on our Renko charts. Still trade the Renko, but this was an excellent 5-minute setup that we had in the room this morning. And you can see, we had this breakout of compression early in the morning just before we got into the room. And gold actually made this giant push down, left this giant bottoming tail, made this big old hammer, triggered it to the upside, and then had another great big rip to the upside. And then we just kind of started chopping away. And we kept compressing and, just no decent setups really in much of anything until we got this. And again, this was a really high probability setup. We had a well-defined pennant. We were just waiting for a breakout, one side or the other, and we got a nice breakout to the downside. Had decent confirmation. The 5 crossed the 18 on this bar right here. That was a pretty bearish bar. Opened at the top, closed at the bottom. So a nice lead up to the breakout of compression. Again, 5 crossed to the 18 to the downside, and we pushed down. The entry on that was 1734.30. We pushed down here to the mid. This 1730.1 is the mid on our gravity lines indicator. We know that a vast majority of the time that when we get to the mid, we're going to stall there, quite possibly bounce. You can see earlier we came down to the mid on this bar, bounced significantly off of that. This bar actually broke through the mid, but notice where it closed, back above it. So we know we get to the mid that's going to be a great place to take at least part of our position off, definitely tighten stops. The way today was going, it was such a choppy day. Just went ahead and took most of the position off right there because, again, we know this is a significant area. The mid on our gravity lines indicator very often supplies support and resistance. And, again, we know if we're trading up to the mid, we're very likely going to stop there, at least for a while. Or trading down to it, we're going to stop there. We rarely ever just blow through the mid and keep going. We know that is an area that's going to get a price reaction. So again, took most of the position off right there. Nice breakout. If you missed the initial breakout, you actually had a 5-minute flag set up, which would have been good for a couple $100 as well. The total overall breakout was a $400 trade. You could have picked up another couple hundred off of the flag, but a good pennant breakout. And we confirmed it with the 30-minute chart. Again, it improves our probabilities of trades working in our favor, and it also improves our probabilities, of getting a little larger run. Today again was a really choppy day, but to pick up 40 ticks today, especially once everything settled down and started chopping, was not bad. And one of the ways we do that is we confirm it with our 30-minute chart. We know that triggers and confirmation off the 30-minute chart often will lead to slightly larger moves, and that's what our expectations are. And you can see on the 30-minute chart what was happening at the time of that trade was actually right here. We left these topping tails, rejected off the 200 EMA, but we're finding support at the 50 EMA. You can see topping tail pushed down here, bounced off the 50, another topping tail pushed down here, poked under the 50 a little bit, came right back above it again, and then as we were triggering that pennant break, that was happening right in here. The 5 and the 13 had crossed to the downside, and this was a really bearish 30-minute bar. So we had a strong bearish bar on the 5-minute chart leading to the breakout, and then this was a really strong bearish bar on the 30-minute chart also. This bar opened right here, pushed up just a little bit, and then proceeded to sell off. This whole body of this bar was all selling. We broke significant support, and so we had 30-minute confirmation, breaking support with a really strong bearish bar in conjunction or in confluence with our pennant breakout on the 5-minute chart, and good for at least $400 per contract. So again, in a day that was really choppy, and you can see, just look at the choppy mess, especially as the day went on, just nothing happening. So to have a really high probability setup present itself, we want to take advantage of those on days like today, and we were able to do so.